Today, I'm going to talk to you about guild islands and laborers and why it's worth it for you to do this as soon as you possibly can when you have the funds for it. Now, to create a guild, you'll press G. It'll cost you 1 million silver. Simply set it up, follow the menus when you push G. Once your guild is created, go over here to the island vendor, which looks just like this on the map with the little palm tree and the little island icon here with the pizza slice. This is what she looks like. She's a babe. And then you want to click this tab right here. You have to make sure that this tab right here is selected, Guild Island. You do not need premium for this. You do not need to have paid real money for this. And you simply buy a guild island. First off, let's talk about the costs and the cost difference, and we're going to talk about this later in the video too. Cost to make a guild is 1 million silver, and the cost to make a guild island is 112,000 on West, and on East it's 5 million silver. Now currently on East, as I film this, it is only 4 million silver, but that is because of something called global discount. Once the gold price rises in East, it will rise to 5 million silver for a guild island. This is generally bad for the people on East, but I'm going to talk about it later in the video. For now, I'm going to talk about creating guild islands and using laborers on West and East players. It's important you pay attention to this because we're going to talk about why it's important later, so just keep watching. I'll get to you guys in just a sec. Don't skip ahead or it won't make any sense. So, let's talk about, there's two different types of laborers that I recommend for most players. You should have gathering laborers or mercenary laborers, or if you're really crazy, you should have both. I have both. I actually have laborers of every type in the game now because I've been playing so long, but let's talk about gathering laborers first and the costs and the returns. Here is the cost to make a tier 5 guild hall, which will give you 15 laborers, and you don't have to have the laborers at tier 2. I just simply use tier 2 gathering journals because it's the most time and price efficient. So here is the costs. On the left side is how much materials you'll need, and the cost currently in Bridgewatch on the West server. So basically the total cost to create a guild, to buy the guild island, and to build the tier 5 guild hall, which is this building right here. This one is tier 8, of course, but you know, for newer players, I recommend tier 5. And that's going to cost you 2.2 million silver. Now, that's going to take you a little bit of time to farm, and I'm going to explain to you why it's a really great early investment if you plan to play this game long-term, and how long you're going to be playing it. Again, just stay tuned. But before I talk about that, the screen changed, by the way. Look at the text. You know, I know you're watching anime right now or playing your game. Look at the screen. So this is about tier 5 mercenary laborers, which requires a tier 6 guild hall. These are far more expensive. So you can see that the cost for mercenary laborers, it's over double. It's at about 5.859 million silver. So that's going to take you even longer to save up and buy. So once you have the laborers set up and you've paid your 2-point-something million silver, tier 2 gamekeeper journals, that's for skinning, those will return 57 tier 2 hide, and those will sell on West for 53 silver each. So it's 3,000 silver rounded down per laborer, and you get 15 laborers in a guild hall. So that means that you're earning 45,000 additional silver per day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up over time. So what that means is it's going to take you 51 days of playing every single day, filling the journals, turning them in, and getting the rewards to break even. And what that means is that the money that you spent on the guild islands and the laborers and the furniture, you will break even and get that money back on your 51st day. Before you see profit, everything after that 51st day is free money forever. Now, what this means also is if you happen to have 51 guild islands, then that means you're making about 2.295 million silver per day. All right, I have 100 islands, so 51 is quite a bit, okay? And then what that also means is that if you were to reinvest all of your earnings every 51 days and you have that many islands, right? That means you get enough silver to make one guild island per day. Now, realistically, that's a lot of islands just for skinning, so you're not going to do that. But here's the raw data, okay? I can fill 100 tier 2 journals per hour. And if one guild hall holds 15 laborers, it would take 8 hours to fill enough journals, and I'm not going to skin 8 hours a day every single day, right? So it's not really realistic to have 51 guild islands dedicated to skinners. So the ideal amount would be 6 guild islands. This will cost you 13.6 million silver in total. And what this will do is generate 270,000 silver per day for 1 hour of skinning. Just from the laborers, not from the skinning itself. Now, when I skin in a tier 4 blue zone completely risk-free, and without having to pay attention to the game at all while I watch anime and movies and listen to music and watch Twitch streams, whatever, okay, I can farm about 730,000 silver per hour without the laborers. But with the laborers, it's over 1 million silver per hour, and that's why I love laborers so damn much. Now, if you did the 6 guild islands, it would still take the 51 days to break even because you're profiting from all 6 islands every single day instead of 1 island every single day. So that number doesn't change. But think of it like this. After you've, broke even, every 80 days that you play, your laborers, just your laborers, not the money you make from skinning, will pay for 30 days of premium at the current price of 21.5 million silver. When I scripted this, it was 21.5 million. It's now 21.6, so it went up a little bit. So the number might be a bit off, and some Redditor might say I'm being misinformative, but whatever. So, and think of it like this, okay? To keep it simple, every 10 days, you're going to make 2.7 million more silver than you normally would without laborers, which is more than the cost of 1 guild island every 10 days. Now, let's talk about mercenaries, because, again, mercenaries were more expensive, but there's a reason why they're pretty damn good. So let's talk about them. Tier 5 mercenary laborers have the same amount of return as the skinning journals, right? It's 3,000 silver rounded down, and the way it works is they give 2,000, it's technically like 2,008 silver, and you have a 50% chance to double that to 4,016. So 50% of the time you get 2008, 50% of the time you get 4016. This averages to 3012. If you were to do this a million times, on average, you would be getting a return of 3,000 silver per laborer. That's the math, that's the simplicity of it. Now what this means is that you also earn 45,000 silver per day per guild hall, essentially. It's the same as the tier 2 gatekeepers, like I've been saying. However, I can fill way more journals than I can with the skinny one. I can fill 600 per hour. That's 6 times as many journals filled than the gamekeeper journals, okay? And it does take about 15 minutes to feed 400 journals. So it's about 45 minutes of grinding and then 15 minutes to give it to the laborers. So the real number that you would shoot for is 400 mercenary laborers. Now, unlike the gamekeepers, this will take 131 days to break even before you see profit, and this is why most people on Reddit and other streamers and YouTubers will tell you that mercenary laborers simply aren't worth it. Well, let me tell you, I started this up on my 2nd or 3rd month playing this game 3 years ago, so it's more than paid for itself by now. If you don't plan to play this game for more than 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months, then yeah, don't bother with it. But if you plan to play this for the next couple of years, the sooner you start, the better. Now, so if you have 131 guild islands, that means you can make up a little under 6 million per day, which would be pretty insane, right? I personally have 100 islands. I'm not joking. A lot of those are personal islands, not all guild islands, okay? But that also means you can buy 1 guild island per day for mercenary laborers once you reach that point. It just snowballs. Now, we can fill it's technically more than 400, but I just put it as a simple, clean, round number. 400 tier 5 mercenary journals can be filled in under 1 hour, and you feed it to the laborers in that 15 minutes of time. So it's 1 hour worth of work every single day. And get this, right? If you're going to be mob grinding in a safe zone, it's going to be a tier 5 zone or a tier 4 static. You can also use tier 4 journals. I'm not calculating that in this video, though. It's still pretty good. It's not as good, but it's still pretty good. And so this will take 27 guild islands, okay? And the entire cost of this is going to be 158,206,500 silver. It's pretty damn expensive. But you should really only consider this when you reach the point in the game where money doesn't matter so much and you have everything that you essentially want, because you're just spending money to make more money for yourself in the future at this point. So here's how much this makes me, okay? The laborers will generate 1.215 million silver every day for 1 hour of work. Now, if I grind the tier 5 statics, that's how I fill my journals, for 45 minutes, I get about 200,000 silver in mob drops. And I'm not counting the item drops, those are unreliable. And I haven't spreadsheeted them, so I can't reliably give you how much that earns. But I technically make more than 200,000 in that 45 minutes. And then the journals, like I said, the journals are 1.2 million. So it combines for 1 hour worth of work. I can grind and level up my fame, combat fame credits. That's how I do it. I have like 150 million. Like, how much do I have? I have 150 million saved up. I can max out like 2 weapon lines almost, I think. But essentially, I make 1.4 million silver per hour because I have mercenary laborers. If I did not have any mercenary laborers, I would only be making less than 200,000 to 300,000, maybe less than 300,000 per hour, which is a huge difference. So think of it like this, right? Would you rather just have 150 million silver sitting in your inventory? Like right now, I have 119 million just sitting here doing nothing. It's not helping me. It's not helping my future characters. It's just rotting away and lowering in value over the course of the game's, history, right? But imagine that you already have chests full of elite gear and super mounts and lots of food and everything you could ever want to do, right? You can just re-gear infinitely and go to the black zone if that's what you're into. Once you have a huge pile of silver, you need to invest it in something, and that's why I say invest it into mercenary laborers, because I have to fame farm, I have to go grind so I can level up other weapons and armors and new weapons that come out, right? So does everyone. So why not have the foundation set up so that I can just go out and fame farm and earn over 1 million silver per hour by doing it, whereas if I don't have this foundation set up, then I can't do it. And here's the thing, like, mercenary laborers, the furnitures, the guild halls, the construction fees, you can get like 75% of all of that back if you just want to sell it all. Like, right now, I have 100 million invested in this tier 8 guild hall and laborers and all the, stuff. I can just go to the market and sell it all and get that money back if I want. It's not a big deal. It's not like I need that money anyway. It's working for me. So here's the thing. Like, obviously, a new player can't do this unless you credit card swipe, right? But if you've been playing for several months, you're going to have that money, especially if you're not pissing it away in the black zone. So you might as well make it work for you. So here's how to afford all this, or the realistic numbers. So for skinning laborers, if we make 1 million silver per hour, then we only need to gather for 14 hours to break even, not the 50-something days I talked about earlier. Just 14 hours of skinning. That's not a lot. I mean, you watch a movie, that's 2 to 3 hours right there. So, like, think of how many movies you've watched while you go skin. Probably a bunch. I don't know if you have another monitor or not. For mercenary laborers, a little different, because we make 1.4 million per hour. We only need to grind for 112 hours. I should have converted that into days, maybe, but you only need 112 hours to break even. So it's a little bit more than the skinning ones, obviously, but, that's just how it is. But also, if you were to use an 8.4 satchel and auto-respec in that 112 hours of grinding, you could level 9 entire weapon lines all the way to 100 with combat fame credits. With no satchel and no auto-respec, you could level up 1 whole weapon line, probably. I believe that's correct. So here's how the laborers make me 2.5 million per day. I own over 100 islands. 27 of those islands are for mercenaries because those islands, remember, they're not just the guild hall. Like, I have houses built on the islands as well. And I have a bunch. I also have a lot of personal islands, which are just houses. Personal islands cannot have guild halls. You need premium for those, though, but we're talking about just guild halls. They're more efficient. And I devote 7 islands to each gathering, except fishing, which I only have the tier 8 for. And it still sucks. It's not worth it. But if I did fishing, it would be worth it. I can't stand fishing, though. But all the other gathering professions, I will level up and have plenty of journals for. So 7 islands per gathering. And that's 35 islands right there. So if combined, it's 2.5 million silver per day from just the laborers. Remember, I'm getting, 200k to 300k silver from grinding the mobs. And I'm earning 1 million silver per hour on just about whatever gathering profession I do. Stone's a little bit in a rut and doesn't quite make 1 million right now, but it's still decent. So essentially, without premium, if I play 6 hours a day, I will make over 8 million silver per day, and that's after taxes and the fees and all that fun stuff. All right, buckle up, East players. Let's talk about you guys now. It's a little bit different. Materials are actually cheaper on East because of the botting epidemic. However, you got that damn guild fee stuff. So let's calculate how much it costs for the same Tier 2 gathering laborers on East. It is 6.9 million silver. That's insane. That's a whole lot more silver than people on West are paying. So here's the numbers on East server. So Tier 2 gamekeepers still return 57 Tier 2 hide. But on the East server, they only sell for 14 each. This means 800 silver per laborer. This means you're only earning 12,000 silver per day, not 45,000 like on West. This means it's going to take you 576 days to break even. That's almost 2 years. You have to play this game for 2 years straight without a break to break even on the East server. I'm sorry, East bros. It's the bots. You have to do something about the bots, lads. You have to like gang up on them or something. I don't know. Y'all got to do something to stop the damn bots. Okay? I'm not even going to calculate mercenary laborers on mercenary laborers will earn you the same amount of silver as they do on West, but the cost is so much more. It's also 2 years to like break even, man. Just gosh. And the problem on East that I've seen, because I tried to do this myself, because I played East for a little while, is that the statics are filled with a million people. Because guess what, East players? You're more efficient than West players. West players, they go out in the black zone and die over and over, and they don't know how to fame farm. Whereas on East, you guys know what the hell to do. You guys know how to min-max your time, because you guys are true, real gamers, unlike the West. And you guys, on East, know the fastest way to fame farm, which is through Tier 4 and Tier 5 statics, and y'all have that stuff, like you guys have that camped constantly, man. There's just too many players on that server, dang it. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about what you can do if you're on East. Or rather, let's talk about why most YouTubers and people on Reddit and streamers say that laborers aren't worth it. Here are the reasons. Well, the real reasons, okay? Okay, here's the thing, guys. You can spend 111 million silver to max out a cooking alt character. It's not too much, right? That chef with premium can make 2 to 5 million silver per day in 15 minutes at a time. That means that you make 53 million to 128 million silver in under 8 hours of playtime. And that's after taxes and fees and premium costs, by the way. That means that laborers and gathering grinding takes 40 to 96 hours to make the same amount of silver. Okay? And this also means that making it makes being a chef 5 to 12 times more efficient. I'm going to tell you right now, once I started maxing out chef characters, it killed all motivation to play this damn game, because there's no reason to PvP, there's no reason to gather, there's no reason to go grind, when I can just log onto my chef and do a little bit of cooking and make a bunch of money and log out for the day. I have no reason to really play the game when my chef, it's just too efficient. It's way too efficient. So East, what can you do? Well, you're going to have to card swipe $500 on gold, and what this will allow you to do is it's going to allow you to max cooking on 4 different characters and buy them all premium. And then when you do that, you're going to make an average of 364 million silver per month after taxes and fees and the premium costs. And what this means is that every single month, here's what you can do. Every month, you can buy 2 Masterpiece Mammoths. Maybe not on East, they're a little more pricey over there. You can buy 242 million Fame and Tones, which lets you get to level 100 on 5 entire gear lines. You can die 28 times in full 8.3 gear, oh boy, or you can die 6 times in 8.4 gear, uh-oh. You can max out 3 more chef characters, almost getting your money back after the first month. Isn't that crazy? You can have the raw silver to push an entire weapon line to level 120. Even I haven't done this. I just refuse. It's too expensive. You can buy 2 entire 8.4 Masterpiece weapons. That's right, Masterpiece weapons, the strongest weapons in the game. You can run 3 shop stalls. Oh man, don't you want to run one of those and lose a bunch of silver? I definitely don't. You can have twice as much as the top 1% of the population in silver in 1 month. You also could have 1/30th as much wealth as the top 0.1%. Oh man, that's a jump. Anyway, guys, that's the video. That's why laborers are awesome, and you should totally get them if you're on the West server. And if you're on the East server, well, maybe one day it'll be worth it for you guys. Apparently, there's a fire in my area. The sky is blackened with smoke, and there are people evacuating. So I have to end this video. With that said, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss if there's any more videos. I don't know. I'm gonna move my computer and unhook it. And hey, click the right side of your screen. There's a video there. If you don't click it, there might be a wildfire near you.